everyone. My name is Kim and I'm returning to YouTube after so many years. I used to do more lifestyle YouTubes. I hid all my videos and I wanted to start over. So yeah, I figured why not do art? I watch hours and hours of art videos, so why not be a part of the art community on YouTube? So yeah, a little about me. I have been doing art for all my life actually, but professionally I have been doing it for 10 or so years. Been practicing more frequently these past, of course, 2 years, pandemic and all that. So enough about me and more about today's video. So today I wanted to work on how to create a landscape without being in a landscape. So learning from a photo and also using mixed media. So I do a lot of mixed media and I paint from images a lot. I try my hardest to give credit when I'm using a photo. And I also try my hardest to not exactly copy, more so using it as a reference. So this is an example of a landscape, and I used the magazine, Plein Air magazine, the 2022 guide to plein air events, and this issue is from January 2022. I love to get magazines randomly. I don't subscribe to them. I just go to the bookstore and pick whichever one seems to be interesting that month. So I tab my magazines. I hate bending my pages, so I tab things with sticky notes. So this was the image that I used. Sorry for the glare. I really like the blues in this image in contrast to the purples and the browns and the greens. And this image is by the artist James McGrew, and it was made in 2020. It's an oil painting. Wow, this is a small one. 8 by 10 inches, and this is from the Yosemite National Park, and they have a whole article about the Yosemite Park. Some great images. I used this image actually before for another painting that I have. So let's get into it. So this was the painting I used. And since I was attracted to some of the purples and greens, I use that very strongly in this imagery. So I can leave that side by side. You can see that they're not exactly the same, but it resembles the composition. So I used some of my Stablo 3-in-1 woody pencils, and I used a water brush. Not sure where I got these. I think Amazon. I just typed in water brush and these are the ones that came up. And I also used some of my Chinese paint brushes. So they're a little wet because I just finished cleaning them. So what I like to do is find an image that has good composition, good color contrast, and maybe some, foreground, midground, and background going on. So I really like this one here. It has a lot of contrast. So with the yellow trees, the green trees, and even the light mountains with some pinks and purples in there. And the trees really stand out. So this painting is done by Paul Crater, an oil painting 12 by 12 inches, and it seems that he was also in Yosemite Valley. So yeah, let's get started. Let's use this as our inspiration here. So today I would like to use the Caran d'Ache Neocolor 2s. And I have the small mid-size collection. So even though this is a square image, you can crop and sort of create it to the size of your image. So I'm gonna keep most of the yellow trees, so we know that they're large portion, and this is like about the middle of the canvas, middle. So actually they could be a little lower. Some of my green trees sort of go up. And this is just sketching, so don't worry too much. And then this is like a quarter of the canvas. Down below, we know that we have our tree barks down here. And going over, then we have our mountains that sort of go down, up. If you see that part right there, this one goes a little in front of the other. We have our clouds, which I'm not gonna get too much of, so you can crop however you want. So I'm right here in this, and I'm gonna make that the top of my page to get most of the composition. Okay, so let's grab some yellow. We don't want to go dark right away, so especially because the Neocolor 2s are water soluble and we can blend later. So I kind of just color like a kid, getting in the blocks of color. Most of the lighter areas, and then we can add the darker colors afterwards. So remember, this is just a mixed media, free-flowing session here. And just remember, it doesn't have to be exact. I'm just realizing that I made these marks for my bark, but I actually put my bark up here, which is fine. Whatever, we can improvise. Do some darker red to contrast just a little, because we'll be blending these. And then we can add the lines for the bark later. All right. A little bright area there. Some midtones. Actually, let's even add some yellow to be able to blend different greens. And I love to add blue to my greens to be able to give some, and that's like more of a royal. This one's ultramarine. Just a little will go a long way. So most of the mountains are in the purple zone, grayish purple. So we can mix that. And also be mindful of the direction that you're using your Caran d'Ache. Keeping things going in the direction you want the paint to go helps a lot to blend things. So you'll notice that I marked the purple downward and I marked the gray sort of diagonal to give a good blend, and even like just changing directions to give some of that dynamic form. So I kind of went back and forth in my direction to give some dynamic motion into the mountains. So actually let's just get in most of the gray. We see the dynamic brush strokes in a sense of movement with the pen, with the Caran d'Ache Neocolor. So think about coloring in a sort of painterly way over all of that. And let's not forget the sky. So the sky here next to this mountain has some blue. And the fun thing about the sky is that you can just use watered down leftover. You can add some gray, but I wouldn't even do too much. Don't even bother to add white because it'll water down. And most of the clouds in here have color. So this has like sort of a grayish yellow. This is more white. This is more purpley. So you can go from there. All right. So let's get into the water. So you can either use a big brush similar to this one. I think this is a size 12. This one I got from Blick. The number here says CC6 Yasutomo, China. Can't tell if I said that right. And then you can also use this one, which I think is a Blick brand. The numbers are sort of faded. Yeah, it looks like it says Blick. And CO564. And I got these from Hobby Lobby with some other sizes that came along with it. Alright, so I'm gonna go in with the bigger brush, and you see like right away things start to blend. So that's the benefit of using this big brush, is that a lot of water, it's a mop brush, so pretty much you're just mopping away the color. And if you happen to have the color still on your brush, you can skip over certain parts and just go right for it. And just remember, this is in our sketchbook, so things don't really have to be perfect. I mean, it doesn't ever have to be perfect, in my opinion. Yeah. So just have fun with it. It's your sketchbook, or if you do happen to do it on a sort of piece of paper that is more quality, just, have fun with it. And so here is the reason why we want to be mindful of our strokes, because they'll still show up with the Neocolor twos. Sometimes they blend away, sometimes they stay similar to the green area here. It doesn't hurt to just experiment to see what you like. But I usually try to, keep things consistent with the brush stroke. I know right here in this area I kind of scribbled, so it might show up mark wise. All right. So we have, oh, and here's the sky. So this is the part where you kind of just want to leave your brush a little dirty to give the sky some dynamic. You can always use a paper towel if you want those white clouds to come back, but it's up to you. All right, be the same. It's your own style. It's inspired by the image, but not exactly copying. So once you let that dry, then you can come back and add some more dimension to give some depth, some value, some more dimensionality, because you know this image is not flat. All right, we're back. So the cool thing about Neocolor 2s is that they dry pretty fast. So you have the option to continue with water-soluble material, or you can go into more of a waxy form, since you know Neocolor 2s are pretty waxy. The Stabilo will be great. They're pretty similar to the Neocolor 2s, but I want to try something different. I'm gonna go in and with my Prismacolor watercolor set, because I don't know, we'll see. So I also have the Caran d'Ache Luminance pencils that I just got brand new, and I've been trying to figure out how and when to use them. They just are so perfect, and I don't want to use them because they're so pretty within itself. It's like they deserve to be framed. Some reds in the tree area, and there's like some umber. Oh, this is burnt umber. So here I'm just sort of adding trees, twigs, marks. And actually I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go back in with some of the darks, and oh yeah, that's right, we didn't even add any of the darker, you know, tones, so just to give some of that. Oh, I love to use this color, Persian blue mixed with some brown. It gives that perfect dark tone without turning black. So we can start to blend things in. All right, so I'm gonna go in with my brush, and I'm kind of wishing this would get a little darker. Hopefully the blue will make it darker. Yeah, that's what I'm going for. Can bring that into the trees. Just lighten that red down a little. Yes. Alright. That is sort of kind of good. I'm gonna add some of this. Oh yes, the Stabilo is very saturated, and that's what we need right now. Vibrant green. these are not labeled with colors. It's so funny to me that these tableaus are classified as kid art tools, but they're so high quality. Anywho's. Alright, I'm getting somewhere. Yep, that's it. Need some darker blue in here. You can go back in with some white, because you can see that the tree have like these like shadow light points, and it just, wow, makes it so much more dynamic. Even here with that yellow area, I'm gonna need another white soon. The interesting thing about these is that they're heavier in the front and lighter in the back, so it makes me believe that the lead like stops midpoint, and that's kind of cheating. So we'll get most of the foreground done. These watercolor pencils aren't working as well as I thought they would. I mean, they work well, just not with this picture, I should say. Let me use them up here. Yeah, because they're like smaller strokes, but might work. I look at the image and I'm seeing the shapes, and that is what you have to do. Like, instead of being exact, because this person, Paul, is clearly not giving us every branch and every twig and every leaf. He's giving us shapes, and that's why I love seeing other painters show what they see. But if you look at it from a distance, it gives dimension. But it looks a little orange, so kind of looks complementary. Even though this does not have red and it's more blues, I kind of want them to stand out, and this is where you have freedom to create the painting your own. So I did the opposite of what this painting did. Like, I made the mountains and the trees stand out, and then I made the foreground not the focal point, creating some shadow. Maybe at this point you can decide if you want to add some oil pastel, which I don't think we need to. I actually don't think it's a good idea now that I think about it, because, well, yeah, no, these are too saturated, so I'm gonna just skip on the oil pastels. Yeah, that's our painting. And alright, that's our video, folks. Thank you for watching my first YouTube video. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you are interested in any other ideas, any other mixed media techniques, landscape techniques. I also have a bunch of other things that I work on, such as food paintings, landscapes, of course, figures. I love to paint female figures. Just let me know what you like, and we can go from there. All right, talk to you later, folks. Bye. Don't forget to like and subscribe and do all the things, bells and all that stuff. All right, talk to you later.